Have you guys ever heard about teke? Just a little warning before I get into anything. Please do watch this with caution because these stories are actually very dark. And if you guys get triggered easily, please do watch with caution because they are very disturbing. Even I was just shocked and kind of I felt a little weird reading this and finding this stuff out because just wow, man, wow. So teke actually has two origin stories, but if I'm gonna be honest, both of them are actually kind of sad, whichever one is true. So the first story actually takes place in post-war occupied Japan, and the story actually starts off with a woman being attacked by a soldier. The soldier ended up throwing the woman on a railway track, and a passing train ended up splitting the woman in half, separating her from her legs and her torso. The woman would have died if it wasn't for the weather. In fact, it was so cold that her wounds ended up freezing, preventing her from bleeding to death. The woman's scream ended up alerting a worker who was nearby, so he went to investigate what was going on. When the worker went over to the woman to see what was going on, what he saw was so shocking that instead of helping, he put a plastic bag over the woman and left her to die. So that was actually just one of the stories. The other one is actually kind of dark as well. The next story starts with a young Japanese schoolgirl who is afraid of her own shadow. This girl was constantly being bullied because of her lack of courage. It was so often that she got bullied to the point where one day the jokes ended up going too far. While waiting for the train one day, the girl's friends decided to have a little fun with her, and they put a cicada bug on her shoulder. The girl started freaking out and accidentally ended up falling into the tracks, just as the Shinkansen train barreled through, splitting her in half. Now those were actually just the origin stories of teke. This is actually the story of someone who met her. This teenager's name is Satoshi, and at 10 p.m. he was heading home from school one night. On his way home, he was passing by an abandoned building, and he sees a young beautiful woman sitting at a window looking down at him. The two ended up making eye contact, and they exchanged smiles. And then the woman asked, "Where are my legs?" Confused as to what the woman meant, Satoshi ended up responding, "I'm sorry, but I don't know." Just then, she sprang up from her perch, and that's when Satoshi finally saw that the woman was just nothing but a torso. The creature ended up crawling towards him, using her arms and her elbows, which made a teke sound. Satoshi, still shocked and paralyzed from fear, wasn't able to move. The creature ended up catching up to him and split him in half.